Traps got a hold on me. Yeah.
Just give me one more time, man, I swear I'm gon' stop.
Traps got a hold on me.
Made my first little money, fell in love with the block.
Traps got a hold on me.
Took it to my nigga country and he killed it with the pot.
Traps got a hold on me.
50 racks to my jewelry, yeah,
I want to formally welcome all of you all to the first episode of the Untrapped Podcast. We got Reese in the building. We got my boy Ubi in the building. We got Sister Soldier Shar in the building.
No, say what you normally say.
Sister Soldier Vanna Black. Not
Here we
white.
go. We add this shit.
Yeah, Vanna
Add
Black.
this shit.
Yeah, Vanna Black, not white. We've already been talking. We've already been having conversations. We can't help ourselves. We just love to talk about undoing whatever this is that we've been fooled into doing, as far as believing that we have to be a certain type of way, that we have to live a certain type of way, that we have to act a certain type of way, that we have to live in certain type of conditions, that we have to get it out the mud or come from a certain type of place to be validated, or that we have to hide our education level or not be, intelligent to a certain extent because, it's not cool. Untrapped. Go ahead,
Fake
Shar.
applause.
I thought we should. I thought it should be like a little applause when he said her name.
It's all good. We can put that in.
No, I love it. We dispelling myths.
Yeah,
So
let's
y'all
dispel it.
said something a second ago about Jesse Jackson being on the balcony. But listen, regardless of how you feel, because sometimes we will ignore a message if we don't like the messenger. But even the clock is right 2 times a day, right?
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
So, did y'all watch the interview that Candace Owens did with Judge Joe Brown?
I didn't. I saw snippets, and I don't like to take my opinion off of snippets because they can be
Thank
edited
you. That's
any kind of way.
respect.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
So, Judge Joe Brown
I'm
was
sorry.
talking.
Can I say something before you say this? I've got to just piggyback off of what you just said. The only reason why I only see snippets is because I don't respect Candace Owens enough to go watch a full interview. I apologize for that.
I'm
ahead
not
of
a
time.
fan of Candace Owens per se, but she be on her shit on
She
some
does,
stuff.
and so what you're
She
saying?
taps into her journalism. I like when she now sometimes she just be saying stupid shit. Let me just
everybody does.
go ahead and say that. Like the other day, she was like, my child was coloring with the white crayon, and she was like, why is this even in here? Crayola, they should take it out of the box, as if there's no white things that we could use this crayon for.
Black paper.
That was dumb.
Right.
But at the same time, you cannot deny that she has brought us some undeniable facts, and she has brought
From a journalistic standpoint.
Yes, she has backed it up with proof, and
So
I gotta respect
all
that.
I'm saying to that is the lack of respect that I have is encapsulated into, it's not the message, it's the messenger. For her to have a platform that she has, the way that she has it with her, the way that she set up her foundation, I can't. But you say the same things. This is the reason why I wanted to make sure that you were a part of this, because you say the same things. Well, let's get behind somebody that's saying the same things, that understands why they're saying what they're saying. And I don't have to ever think about the fact that you might be saying what you're saying for exploitation purposes. Because
Yeah,
you
she
know
be
that-
ignoring. My problem with Candace is, and which is probably your problem too, y'all. Can we all agree that a lot of times she ignores the root causes of things?
Yes, but I will also say this. Yes. So let's just be clear. I agree. I'm going to say this too. We are not allowed and allotted certain privileges in those spaces. Right? I'm going to take, for example, Charleston White. Okay? Let me say
Shake the
I'm going to say it
table.
this way. I'm going to say it this way. Before he started with the antics and took on that Rudy Ray Gay
Ooh, this
persona,
is true.
right? That man was out there with a button-up white shirt on and khakis in front
At
of courthouses.
schools, he was going to
yes.
city council meetings. He was going to Senate meetings. He actually did a lot lot of work.
But did we really
he
like that
wrote
Charleston
and
White, though?
enacted. That is important.
Did we like that
Not
Charleston
just
White?
enacted, but he also wrote and enacted legislation.
He did.
passable legislation.
Right. And then fast forward, it took him to become a character, a Dolomite type character, to say anything at any given time to get the buzz attention. And then in the middle of those crazy antics, he would insert a lot of the stuff he had been doing. So let's just say that on the other side with Candace Owens, who was a black woman, right? Sometimes we have to be so far gone in the eyes of media and our approach to get the attention, so then we can come back and assert things, like you said, with facts. I'm not saying I agree with it, because I'd rather take the long route.
And I hate, but I'm gonna say something though. I hate that shit because when I'm stating facts and saying some of the same things that Candace is saying, but because I'm saying it in a calm way and chill, you know, and articulating it better to certain audiences, it'll be ignored. But then when I get pissed off, like the other day, right? I went off about the temperature of politics on TikTok. And I had almost 6,000 viewers in 10 minutes, y'all. And I look at so many times where something will just piss me off and I'll go and I'll talk about it and I'll get passionate, but I'm seen as the angry black woman. And those are the things that go viral. And I'm like, and so people expect for me to be rah, rah, rah all the time when I'm like, yo, I'm a super calm person day to day. I'm a healer. If you around me, I'm joking, I'm having a great time. Right. You gotta really do a lot to get me to that point. But it's like they'll skip over all this stuff that I do 99% of the time because I got rowdy 2 days out of the year. All that shit gets ignored, and those videos always happen to be the ones that go viral.
Right.
I think that that's human nature, though, because passion, when you come from a position of passion, it connects. People connect with passion before they do with your message. And so that's what you're basically saying when it comes down to Candace Owens, is that she speaks with facts, but she doesn't speak from a position of empathy. So her messages...
That was a bar right there.
Yeah, so her messages are empty. What she's saying is factual. She's done the research. She has the history down. She speaks eloquently, and she articulates what she's trying to say almost perfectly. But the only thing that she's missing is that ability to, for me personally, that ability to connect, because I know that she doesn't come from a position of empathy. Yeah. So when they attach to you like that, I don't know if it's like, oh yeah, they're trying to say, oh, well, this is what we want from Char. I think that that's mainly what people attach to first from a passion standpoint. That's what they attach to first when somebody's delivering a message. Yeah. And then like the same thing what Reese was saying, if Charleston White, same thing for Charleston White, if Charleston White recognized that and said, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to change gears. So I'm going to antics. Okay, well, cool. You got antics. You got the attention. You were able to deliver a message. The only thing that is just this fine line now where you get addicted to the attention.
Yeah, because there's no line that he won't cross now.
Yeah,
like
you sitting up. Antics.
Yeah, you sitting up talking about people's children and being ugly and retarded. Yeah, you go too far. You know what I'm saying?
Too far, Biggs.
You said what?
He did. I mean, you go too far,
Biggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes so far.
But he doesn't mind. He's unapologetic about it.
I'm not willing. The fact of the matter is that I'm not willing to forego my personal morals and values for clout.
Right.
For instance, 2016, I interviewed this author. Do y'all remember when Phaedra's husband at the time, when he was having sex with the stripper, and when it came out that he did something with the stripper in the baby room, right? Uh-huh. That came from my show.
Gotcha.
And
so you the problem.
I was not the problem. The author came up there.
She was the vessel.
She was the vessel.
I was just the show host. She came up there specifically because she wanted to put that shit out there.
Right.
Now, when it started to go viral, I didn't even want my face seen on it. I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be a part of it. No, the interview went out there, and she was basically like trying to get it sent to all of these different places. And somebody called me, and he was like, I'm so mad right now. I can't be mad at you, but I'm just mad. He was like, all the things you done did for these kids, all the things you done did in the community, all these things you done did.
Popping off.
You know what I'm saying? And you gonna go viral for interviewing this random ex-stripper that's put, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't got nothing, and I knew Apollo. Like, I was working for Peter Thomas at the time as a waitress. So I would have to see him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's weird.
And it's like, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of weird.
I mean, the nigga was on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't publicly at that point yet. But it's just crazy. And, you know, I also probably like a year later, I was asked to be on Love and Hip Hop, and I declined it.
Same.
And they like, why would you turn? They like, why would you turn that down? And this could change your life. First off, I had some other stuff going on that I don't need no exploitation of. Second,
They were finna put you out there.
you know what I'm saying? You already, you know.
Yeah, that's why.
I was like, You know what I'm saying? Because I like my little private. Right. I like being city famous. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, they like, why would you turn that down? Because I don't want to get famous for some messy shit. Even when I was on BET Cop Watch America, I had a whole situation going on that I literally went and got a lawyer for them not to exploit it. Mm-hmm. Other people was like, you could have got a spinoff, this, that, and I'm aware. I don't need them.
I'm cool on
Nigga,
that.
I'm pressure. The fuck? I don't need no particular. I've been saying, whoever get cameras on me 24/7 first, they gonna be rich.
Yeah.
Because I don't post.
Well, that's how you start now.
I don't post an 8.
But that goes back to
what the fuck go on in my life.
Basically, that's the reason why I felt like the group, this combination of people would be perfect, because we don't mind taking the long way. We don't mind taking.
That's true.
You know,
we were just talking about taking the long way.
Going through a difficult, you know, the more difficult path. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's all good. It might take a few more shows. It might take a lot more promotion of the shows, or before people get, you know, understand what's going on and jump on board. But that's all good.
You got to
But Sharp, back to what you were saying. You were saying that you watched the interview with Candace Owens
and Judge Joe Brown.
Brown.
And they basically had put out there that, because you know, for a very long time, people were feeling like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton had something to do with King's death.
Yeah.
And basically what he said is that Jesse Jackson was cleared, but he didn't say anybody else was cleared.
I get it.
He just said Jesse Jackson was cleared. But it's also been, you know, questionable things. You know, unfortunately, we're in a time where, and I don't know where this can go from here, but I'm going to just go ahead and keep it real. Some of the people that's looked at as the leaders of our community have been bought and paid a very long time ago. This is why you all of a sudden every 4 years.
Are you saying they're actual industry plants? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's industry plants, it's activist plants, it's you know.
I kind of know what I'm saying.
It's and I mean, because just think about it. Georgia, last time I checked, Georgia was a swing state in 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024, not just 2024.
2016 too.
You know what I'm saying? But all of a sudden, every 4 years, we got these people that come out here, even people in Atlanta. You don't come out for shit else going on in this community, because there's shit going on all the time in the community.
Right.
But when it's election time, they pop out. And the thing is,
I'm not let you.
Thank you, Ubi. Let's go ahead and put it on out there. It's a whole lot of people. Y'all wonder why y'all seen so many, you know, national people and celebs and the higher ups pushing so hard for Harris and different stuff. Bro, they was paid. It's a such thing. Y'all know I talk to y'all about 501c3s all day long. But the difference between a 501c3 and a 501c4 is 501c3s cannot do political things. And we have to show who our donations come from and how much money we're making. 501c4s is a dark web. They do not have to tell you where they get their money from. They do not have to show you how they got it. And so a lot of these people got 501c4s, and I'm not even gonna call no names, but all I'm gonna say is this.
Okay.
I mean, I can help you with it, but that's how the rich and corporations and them, that's how they donate through these different companies and hide the money. But a lot of them have 501c4s for a reason, and they make it seem as if they are so for people like Kamala and different people when you've been paid. And I know this for a fact because even when I was at the height of my demands and talking shit to try to get them to change, while y'all think I was just talking stuff just to come at this woman, I was trying to tell y'all the temperature of the community, and if y'all don't do something about it, where we was gonna go. But the fact of the matter, even then though, I was offered money.
But that's my problem. See,
and I turned it down.
But that's my problem I have with the climate. Okay, so I'm okay with you getting paid. I'm totally okay with you getting paid to express your political views if they are your political views.
That's my problem. Y'all just be saying stuff just because you've been paid. You don't even care.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm okay with you getting a check if it's your actual thoughts behind it. Now, if I come out there and say I'm with everything Kamala had with platform she stood on, that's a lie. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be dang near about to get canceled every week because I might come on my stories and say something wild to other people. To me, this is a logical truth and fact. Like, I got into a whole argument in the comments with somebody about boys playing girl sports.
Oh, we going there? Okay, Reese, we gonna crack this thing open.
I really want to have this conversation. I want to have this.
Come on, put that shit on the floor, Reese.
With my guy over here, because you coach as well. Like, you coach. So imagine my daughter is 8 years old, right? Imagine she 8 years old and she playing I-9 sports or something like that. And she doing the best she can with what she got. And you got an 8-year-old boy who was 3 feet taller than her, who identifies as a girl, dunking on my baby. I gotta fight your father. Like, I gotta fight him because that's not fair to me. I'm for real. Like, and then when I say that, you say, oh, you transphobic. I'm not scared of trans people. I don't have a phobia. What I have is a sense of common sense when it comes down to logic and when it comes down to not gender, biology.
Before you answer, I just want to say those feelings right there is a large part of the reason also why Harris didn't make it in. But go ahead and answer.
Yeah, because she didn't want to have to take a stance on it. And in the other part of that is that common sense isn't too common. But we lived in Glendale, California for 2 years. And I really wish it would have been 1. But we lived there for 2 years, and when it was time to extend, I was like, "Hey, we got to get back. This is going too far." You know what I'm saying? The way that stuff is going on out here, I just felt like the culture
you seen it ahead of
was
time.
detached from reality. They were putting transgender bathrooms in the elementary schools.
Okay.
They were talking to my son about his aggression level and how. Right. You know, he didn't have to necessarily feel like he had to be aggressive or he had to identify with being so strongly of an alpha male and stuff like. So they were conversations.
Not to agree.
Well, they were having basically what was going on in the elementary schools. They were having a conversation basically to teach the students that everybody could be whatever they imagined themselves to be.
So if I want to be a dolphin. I
were a dolphin. You could not.
I identify as a billionaire. Maurice, I'm waiting on my bank account to change.
It goes deeper. It goes deeper than that because now the reason why they're really having the conversation is like just what you said. Okay, I want to be well. You could say whatever you wanted to be, and so it was an anti. They masked it because now the organization that's being paid is the anti-bullying campaign organization.
Right.
So that's where the money is coming from. That's how they hide that. Well, when you were saying the 501c3, this is how they hide or trick the government money and funding. I believe Trump just addressed this.
He did.
He just now addressed this yesterday, between yesterday and today, about cutting this funding.
Right.
That goes towards the education of. But this is how they get around it because they're talking about being It's an anti-bullying campaign. So they put the transgender bathrooms in the classrooms. They're talking to the kids and having conversations with them about acceptance of, if people want to be like this. And I'm like, hey, look, if this is the way that they want to approach it out here, that's cool. Like, but we're not from out here. We need to go back. We need to go back home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got everything that we needed to come out here for. You got your business established. I've gotten some entertainment contacts and things that I wanted to transition into. I got all that established. It's time for us to go back home.
What year was that?
That was, we actually moved back in 2019. So we were there from 2017 to 2019. So we moved back here in the summer of 2019. And it was specifically for that. Like, people don't understand that there are parts of our country where this conversation isn't a conversation. This is actually happening. There are people that are actually affected by it.
Thank you, because they're making it seem as if it's a conspiracy.
No, it's not. This is not a conspiracy. This is not a situation where and I hate right, left. I don't care about none of that. You got one side of people that are saying that, hey, I don't want my kid to be subjected to this. Yeah. And you got another, I don't know if it's a side. I see political groups. You got political groups saying, no, everybody should have the freedom to say whatever. And I, to a certain extent, I'm all about freedoms and all of that kind of stuff like that, as long as they're personal. As long as not subjecting my kid
to something they don't need to
try to understand, to even put in a process of their mind to try to understand a concept that should be completely foreign to them.
And they're already confused. So like, you got a kid, like I got a nephew, right? This man, 7. He thinks he's a dinosaur some days. Like, that's who he is. He growls, hey, what's up, my boy? Like, that's who he is, right? But I don't want my daughter to use the restroom, and then I have to explain why a boy that came into that restroom to use the potty next to her felt like a girl that day, and now I got to explain why his privates look different than hers, because she was subjected to that. At an age that's age where they should just be worried about how to color in between the freaking lines.
So let's have a real conversation, because what saddens me is that it's so much talk about this as if the way they push this on us, you would think that they represented 80% of the population. It's literally less. They say it's less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
At this point, it's been so much put out there. It could be around 5% now.
Right. Less than 1% with way more than 1% funding.
Yeah. So let me tell y'all what happened a couple months back, right? A couple months back, this trans woman was in the
woman going man to woman.
And I'm not trying to be, excuse my ignorance. I'm not trying to get the show canceled before we even get out the gate.
Naturally born man that transitioned to a woman.
Is a trans woman.
Yeah.
Trans woman.
I can follow.
So they're,
bro, I don't know.
They're in, so I love y'all. I just want to say I love y'all.
Former. That's what it is.
So listen, they're in the locker room.
Okay.
And
it's a girl's locker room.
He's in the women's locker. The trans woman is in the women's locker room.
Okay.
And in there shaving.
Oh, that's crazy.
Shaving under his arms and shaving his private areas that are still manly.
Dick and balls.
It was a little girl in there that was around 8, 9 years old, and she was in the corner like this and covering herself up.
Yeah.
The parents were not saying anything, but this older white lady was like, "What the hell is happening here?" Shout out to her. I don't know your name, but shout out to her.
This was at like a LA Fitness. This is
a Planet Fitness.
Yeah, this is in a public workout gym.
Yes.
And there's kids in there.
So wait, hold on, pause. Let me tell y'all the full story. So the lady goes out into the parking lot. I think it was in Canada, and she tells, "This is where I am. This is what happened. Y'all have to do better. We have to protect our little girls, right? We have to protect our kids." So the trans community got a hold of it. They tried to bash her. The owners, a man and a woman, put out a statement and said, "We're revoking your membership because to the lady said that we are not allowing bullying and harassment. Sure. We accept everyone, right?" She was like, well, thank God you did it for me. Because if you think I'm coming back, you're crazy. Not even a week later, Planet Fitness's stocks dropped by 30%, and everybody came in, white community, black community, everybody came in defending this lady like, hell no, she right, y'all wrong. And if y'all not gonna let her back in there, then we're not coming. But the entire company lost 30% of their stock. Like, because y'all are forgetting, like, you can't say that, it's wrong. We don't want you to teach Black history, which is actually American history, but it's okay to teach 5- and 6-year-olds about private parts. The fact that in California they can change their gender before they can buy liquor.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
I think that if you can't purchase liquor and a handgun, you shouldn't be able to change your genitals until you all the way know what's going on.
You change your mind at 25, you done never be like, damn, I'm gonna do it.
And it is people that have changed their genders that when they were younger that came back and regretted it. And to your point, I think that because when they first talked about the restrooms in North Carolina, I was like, what I don't like is, as a person that survived sexual assault, I said, what I don't like is there's going to be a lot of people pretending to be trans, using that bathroom, and that's exactly what happened. They almost thank God this dad, he was right outside the bathroom and he kept knocking on the door. And he tried to molest this little girl, but they had that daddy fucked up because the daddy was right outside. He kept knocking on that door. Hey baby, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the dads because y'all try to make it seem like that. You know what I'm saying? But I think that if it's that serious for y'all, when it comes to the sports in the bathrooms, this is just my personal suggestion for a solution. Don't try to cancel me because I'm just being real. I support everybody. I'm partly in the other side, but I'm not that gay, but I'm a little gay. Anyway, so back to the matter.
You heard it here first.
I mean,
let's be honest here.
Fuck it, we're live. Anyway, so fact of the matter is, I think that if it's that important to y'all, make trans bathrooms. If it's that important to y'all, make trans sports leagues.
Yes. Your own league.
Yes, make your own, because I don't agree.
NBA, WNBA.
But on the better note, though.
Other words, but TNBA. There you go.
But on a better note, for all the fathers whose son couldn't make it, switch his ass up, send him to the WNBA.
But look, to the TNBA.
But that's listen, cool. That's what happened with the wrestler, though.
Listen, that's the fastest way for y'all to find out, right? As soon as y'all have your own sports league,
be 32
as soon as you have your own,
you're gonna see who supports
restaurants, businesses. Then, from a financial standpoint, which is what this is supposed, because we live in a free market economy, right? So this is what's supposed to support your standing. All right, well, let's see what type of money or attention or media or marketing or sponsorships are generated from you creating your own league. This is easy. It's not even hard. Nobody's anti what y'all got going on. Just
we're saying don't try to change us.
If your kid looks at you and says, all right, I feel like that I'm supposed to be a boy, and it's a girl, and she's 10 years old. Well, and if there's a great enough amount of you in the same area, then create your own school.
But this is the problem. Another issue with that. I like what you're saying because you create your own schools, have your own conversation.
Or do it online. Everybody does everything else online.
But every time you get into a conversation, anytime I've gotten into a conversation,
the cancel culture tries to get inserted.
Yes, with this group of people. Right? They're the most unreasonable people to talk to. They are the bullies. They gang up on you. They use emotional triggers to try to sway the conversation. And as soon as you try to use facts and figures, then it turns into you're a phobic. And
not all of them, but it is a great part.
I've never had a reasonable conversation. So I'm going to say my experience, maybe of a small subset, being in mass media and having these conversations, this has not been a pleasant platform to speak on. If I say, hey, you got a wrestler that was 0-57 against boys. No, these are the stats. You 0-57 against boys.
57-0 against girls.
You change. You take the pills. You switch your gender. You go to the girls' sports in high school. Now you're a state champion. To me, you're a cheater. You're a cheater. And you're a dirtbag.
You were influenced.
And letting your parents that let you do that should be charged with child abuse.
For sure, because you didn't make that decision on your own. You were influenced and you had an agenda and you followed through your agenda in order to get the result. You wanted to be a champion.
Right.
All right, but you wanted to utilize this platform to become a champion. Whatever that is, all right, it's cool. I've never talked to a trans woman. I've never had a conversation. I've had conversation with gay men. I don't know what the difference is, honestly. I don't know the difference.
Right.
I have never.
One got a
I've never had an intentional conversation with somebody that identified as a trans woman. Right. I don't think I need to qualify to be able to make a statement that I have to talk or understand what a trans woman is going through for me to say that I don't want my son or I don't want my daughter to have to come to me to be educated when all I want to do is homework. I want to do math. I want to do science.
Social studies.
Because that's already
Talk about fluidity to a 8-year-old.
And for me in my household, I don't know about everybody else in the world. In the United States of America. For me in my household, there was already just enough of a struggle just to get the attention to be able to focus in on the subjects of school. Now I got to take time away from the subjects of school, math, reading, science, those things that I'm trying to get them to understand that we want to be able to compete because these tests are coming back. They're going to, which is a whole nother conversation. They're going to classify you based upon these scores. They're going to classify you based upon your whatever. Then after that, based upon your character. I need to work with you on these things, but in the midst of that, I have to have this confusing ass conversation with an adolescent kid that I don't even understand myself. As a full-grown, mature adult, I don't even understand. We're still kind of educating each other on what a trans woman or a trans man is. And so if whatever that is, because I haven't had that conversation, if there's not enough literature out there, if there's not enough education out there, whatever, if you have create your environment and grow whatever your environment is, be whatever your movement, be pro your movement, and then whenever it grows, then let people understand it. And so the same thing that I just want to make this clear, the same thing that I would be saying to the trans community or the HB, whatever,
HBCU.
LGBT.
I ain't talking about HBCU.
LGBTQ.
What school he went to?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, whatever.
Yes.
I'm saying that same thing to the black community.
Yeah.
Black community. All right. All I hear is complain.
Where's the solutions?
Right. Why not, instead of complain, just come together and build your own situation.
We tried that in Tulsa.
Yeah, I'm about to say that.
But
It was many
there
more
were a lot of
places
things.
than Tulsa.
I know. I'm just.
There were a lot of things that were going on back then.
Yeah.
Because you even brought it up when you
Shit,
brought
we're doing
up,
that in Atlanta
when you
right
brought
now.
up Jesse Jackson, right? Jesse Jackson was like a bystander, right? He's up on the balcony. Him and King, they got this game plan. Have you guys ever heard of Operation Breadbasket?
Talk to me.
So Operation Breadbasket was a political party, basically, that was formed by Dr. King and Jesse Jackson. So this is what's going on in the background,
Right.
Right?
Because he started changing his tone from
Exactly.
altogether to financial freedom.
This happened.
Right.
This happened.
Equity.
This happened in 1966. This is after Malcolm X was assassinated. Malcolm X was assassinated in 1965. I bring
65.
65. So in February. So I'll bring him back in a second. So after Malcolm X's assassination in 1965, people's tones started to change. Well, actually, they were already changing because Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were actually getting
Starting to get on the same page. They were.
But Jesse Jackson was in the middle of that too. But it's like when Judge Joe Brown, he says it, but then you don't really understand what really is going on because you're just saying something without educating at the same time. So Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson came together and they founded Operation Breadbasket. Operation Breadbasket was for the black community specifically because they were pulling the money from the organizations together into one place and then recruiting like, let's just say that it was a reading program or a food program. Right. They were recruiting the people that needed the necessities in the specific places, but they wanted to be in control of whatever the monetary contributions were. Instead of having to go to somebody for the monetary contribution, they wanted to be in control of the monetary contribution. Right. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying, well, we complain. Well, when is it going to get to the point you got the red party, you got the green party, you got the blue party? When is it going to get to the point to where we wake up and say, okay, well, let's have the black party or whatever it doesn't have to be the black party if people want to say that it's going to be racist or whatever like that.
That's where we are right now.
Yeah, that's cool. Because guess what happened? Guess what happened in 2016? In 2016, Obama's first term was 2008. In 2008, when Obama came into office, what got created? The Tea Party. Mm-hmm. Everybody got quiet, right? They got organized, right? They started having these conversations. What we see as where did all these people come from? Oh, we didn't hear nothing about them. Well, good job by them. Good job by them. We didn't hear nothing about this when Obama was I hear so many people say that it bothers me so bad when I hear people, we didn't see because we had a black president, nobody was vocal. We didn't see, they went underground. They organized, they built their own systems. You said 501c4. They got their super PACs together. That's what a 501c4 is. They got their super PACs together. They started pooling their money. They started pooling their resources. They got themselves organized, and they put themselves in a position because they knew that there was going to be a day where they would be able to come back and be on top. Well, this was the same thing that Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson were doing, and they started the Operation Breadbasket in 1966. Martin Luther King delivered a message in 1967 where he actually was saying, you could hear him change his approach and his tone. I want to read exactly.
What changed his tone? Hold on, Paul. Let me just insert something right quick. What changed Martin's tone was when he found out how much money and land was being given to all the other cultures for nothing, and they were giving it to everybody but us. Europeans could come over here with nothing, which were the bottom of the bottom from Europe, and they were giving them land for free. We've been fighting for reparations this whole time, but they already gave reparations. They gave reparations to the slave owners for losing us, but didn't give us anything.
And Martin Luther King said this specifically in his speech, this speech that's called The Three Evils of Society. He actually said exactly that. He said, why are there all these different plantations in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, basically in the South? They're getting $1 million subsidies from the government, but those same plantation owners that are being paid because they're not growing cotton anymore, those same landowners are not distributing that wealth down to the workers, the people that work those farms. We're missing the mark. That money is going to them, but it's not trickling down to us.
After they already have free labor.
He said this specifically in that speech.
Right now,
the speech was called the three evils of society. He said, this is in response because he was actually being heckled and booed by black people at his speeches. It was messing with him. He directly states in his speech, response to being booed by young black men, he said, we are not able to deliver on our promises. Speaking on why he came to an understanding of why he was being booed. We were not able to deliver on our promises. They were booing because we urged them to have faith in people who had too often proven to be unfaithful.
Right.
They were now hostile because they were watching the dream that they so readily accepted turn into a frustrating nightmare. Then he goes on to say, we have no problem with administrative supervision, but we have a desire to be independent of machine control and the Democratic Party patronage network. For this desire for a politically independent approach to the needs of our brothers. Yes, the hour is dark evil comes forth in the guise of good. He delivered this speech in 1967 and was assassinated 7 months later. I just want people to understand something about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King had a different speech delivery, right? He didn't really speak necessarily with passion. That was Malcolm X. Malcolm X did panels. Malcolm X, he did panel discussions. Yes, he did not mind having back and forth Q&A sessions from multiple different people. Martin Luther King had to be in a certain type of setting to deliver whatever his message was. So he wrote this speech and he delivered it from writing this speech. He was very precise with the words that he was using. Yeah. He used the word, the dream that we delivered. Right? And everybody when for us as black people, when we think about Martin Luther King, we say to ourselves, what's synonymous with Martin Luther King?
I have a dream.
I have a dream. Right. That's what they focus on from a propaganda standpoint. Right. They focus on the fact that, I have a dream, I have a dream. But when the conversation changed and he said, equity. He actually said,
that's what you're talking about.
Wait a minute, this dream I was talking about is I might have made a mistake.
Right.
I believe it was Harry Belafonte. Yeah. Harry Belafonte, 4 days later after Martin Luther King was assassinated, came out and said that he had a conversation with Martin 4 days before he was assassinated, and he said that in that conversation, Martin Luther King said, "I am afraid that I have led my people into a burning building."
Yeah. But it's the same building that's been burning because today he's talking about sabotage. That's what he's talking about. And even in the education system, you see it because you expect them to tell us this is the same educational system that don't teach you how to balance a checkbook, don't teach you about finances, doesn't teach you about how to do a mortgage. Like, you have to learn that from people that know. I could come outside my old neighborhood and learn how to flip dope, break into cars, and get a radio flip before I can learn how to do a mortgage or open up a checking account. Right? Access to information, correct information. Thanks. My friends that I was awarded the opportunity to be able to play in college, right? At a PWI, right? And at that PWI, I learned things that I knew because I had a pops that was in my life, right? That I was seeing that they was learning early.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like one of my friends, his father's a very offensive fella. You know what I mean? But he was telling us, he was like, "That's why y'all don't really know nothing." Like, I was teaching my son how to work his credit early since he was in 7th, 8th grade. I had credit cards in his name, so now when he gets out of college, I'm teaching him in college, this is where you play around your first year, the second year, this is where you find your wife, because that's where you're going to find your stability, right? He's teaching him things that are going to allow him to succeed in life, because this America we live in is founded on properties of people's being disadvantaged. You know what I'm saying? And once you're able to find that equity, which Martin Luther King started talking about, which Malcolm X was talking about, that got him killed, that's when the thing changes. We still live in that right now. Yeah. Like, that's the issue that I have when I say I'm okay with people taking the money to talk about Kamala or a different party. I'm not okay with you spitting things that you don't know anything about, or just blindly saying, "Hey, vote for this person because of these issues," but you can't tell me 3 policies she stands on right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the issue
that are hers. Where you know that this is
policies,
her voice. Right? Not the Democratic Party's policies.
Not the Democratic Party. Her policies.
Can we have a conversation right quick?
Please.
When does this come out?
What's this?
When is this coming
ASAP.
out?
Why not? ASAP.
Okay. So let me say something. As somebody that is nonpartisan, and I talk about what we need to do as a community year-round, not every 4 years,
right?
Not around election season, not when it's comfortable, not when it's cold.
Boots on the ground.
High heels on the dirt. I've seen it.
Y'all, we have to stop bashing each other when we don't agree.
I'm telling you, that's the major thing.
We have to stop bashing. It's emotional.
It shouldn't be though, and that's what you're saying. It shouldn't be. Like, we have disagreed on things, and we still
cool.
Still good. We can still have a conversation.
We're not supposed to agree on everything together. Right. How the fuck can you learn anything if you don't listen to other people's perspectives?
Thank you.
Fact of the matter is, Y'all talking about, oh, life is about to be so different and we're about to go back into slavery. Newsflash, we've been here. It's not been anything different. If you are surprised.
It has been something different. You know what was different? When Obama was president, because that was the anomaly. The norm is this.
This is regular.
First of all, let's have a real conversation about Obama right quick. You know what? Because fuck it, we live.
No, I don't mean his policy. It
ain't about his policies. Obama gave us hope, but he did not bring us change.
We didn't need no change.
We need a change.
Ain't no such thing as change. I'm going to keep 1,000 with y'all. I be hearing y'all the pro-black shit. I'm here every day, all day with these same niggas. Ain't no change. Because these niggas ain't going to change. Like, no matter how much you give
no,
a nigga.
all the niggas not going to change. That's the thing. We have to stop thinking that everybody is going to change.
Listen,
we going to have to leave some back. That's how I feel.
Everybody in the hood going to have guns and straps.
But Ubi, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you, actually, which is the reason why I wanted to make sure that you were sitting in that seat, because I feel like that you are the person that is going to allow them to say to themselves, oh, damn, maybe I do need to change.
No, for a fact. They know they ain't trying to get around me, but I'm just saying, you can't
those are just
change.
the people that are around you. I'm saying that what you just now said,
Put like this, bro.
if people can see who you are and where you're from and what your perspective is, they say, wait a minute, maybe I do need to educate myself a little bit better.
It's also a mentality too, because when you come down to a lot of times people that are in disadvantaged situations, we talking about ignorance. So I'm gonna switch out the word niggas for ignorance in this situation, right? Because you got rednecks too in the same situation.
Fucked up.
Or whites,
Fucked
or
up.
blacks
Fucked
that
up.
need to use a cheat code to get by,
fucked
right?
up.
Sometimes we take on a person, kind of like a stance of, oh, Ubi doing good, right? Ubi come for what we come. Ubi doing good. Man, fuck that nigga, bro. I ain't trying to rock with bro like that. He think he better than us. And that be the problem where we can't get to.
So pause. Hold on. Let me finish my statement right quick.
Black woman finish now. You know how that go. No, just touch it.
Listen,
Ubi, man, I love him.
if you are surprised that Trump won,
Stupid.
I ain't gonna call you stupid.
I am.
I'ma just say you are not as outside as what you think. If you are surprised that Trump, and then he didn't just win, he swept her ass.
312, 226.
He swept her ass. Literally, the map is almost all red.
Right.
California, New York, a couple states underneath. You know what I'm saying? And the rest is red. Fact of the matter is that the Democratic Party lost because they have not been paying attention to people. They have been catering. They've been catering to the corporate, the elite, the lobbyists. Fact of the matter is that nobody has been listening to the people in a very long time. People are tired. People are not stupid. We are in 2024. You cannot buy out the online media stations, control mainstream media, get a couple celebs and a couple fake activists and paid out advocates to tap dance in front of us and think that we cannot see through the bullshit. People are so tired. Now, personally, I voted for Jill, so let me just get that out the way.
Jill Scott?
I voted for Jill Stein. Lord Jesus.
Hey, my bad.
I ain't gonna call you a nigga, because I'm trying to do better on that word right there. But nigga, what the hell? Anyway, I voted for Jill Stein because she would have been the best presidential candidate for this country. Unfortunately, it's a controlled two-party system. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that y'all talk about some people, they wasn't ready to see a woman, and they didn't want to vote for her because she was black, and it ain't got nothing to do with none of that. Now, some it do. Some it do. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is that our everyday lives have been trash. Somehow y'all have convinced yourselves that if Kamala got in and the Democratic Party won, then we were going to be saved. No, we were not. They were constantly fear-mongering about Project 2025 and about what Trump was going to do, at the same time not presenting things that was going to combat that.
Right. Because they could have had the same agenda. Nobody would have known.
I wanted you to finish. I feel like all of that, whenever I see things like this and they're obvious, I always go to myself and say, okay, well, this is obvious.
Everybody got to see it.
But it's not to some people. It's amazing.
But that's what I'm saying. So then I ask myself the question, right? Why? Right? Like, why? if this is so obvious, and they're doing it right in front of our face, like, and it's like, oh yeah, we just gonna play right here in front of these niggas.
Because they're conditioned.
Right? And so that's what I'm about to get to. So why? What's the why? So the only thing that I could say, I agree with you, everything that you said, line by line, word by word, except for this one, that the Democratic Party lost. No, they didn't.
You think they threw the election?
The Democratic Party put themselves in a win-win situation. Listen, Joe Biden, when Joe Biden, yes they did, watch. Joe Biden,
Got some up his sleeve.
Joe Biden, when they seen that he wasn't going to generate what they needed to be generated, they forced Joe Biden out, right? So now, why did Joe Biden get forced out? Okay. Now, I asked this question, and I stopped talking about politics after I asked this question to a couple of different people, because then I figured out real fast that we weren't talking about politics, we were talking about race. Mm-hmm. They said, oh, we got Kamala. My bad, Kamala. We got Kamala. It's on. We ready. Let's go. Let's go. My response to that was, okay. But I don't think that she's the most qualified person for the position.
They didn't either. The DNC never even backed her.
That's what I'm saying. Let me finish. So then I'm saying that, and then I'm getting jumped on like, oh.
You got a third phone?
So
turn that shit on.
Yeah, trap star. So she's not the most qualified person. How? Black woman, you know what? That means that black women ain't qualified. I'm like, wait a minute.
It's never the facts.
Hold on a second. Time out. How is this possible? How? Okay, so let me clarify now today, because I don't want to just argue with one or two people over and over again about the same thing. Let's have this conversation, right?
I know it.
Since 1968, now notice these dates, I'm saying these dates on purpose. All of these times come together. Since 1968, there has not been a party that hasn't nominated their delegate without using a party system where people are voted, where they do where there's a group of candidates that debate against each other and they argue on who's the best qualified, and then the people from each state promote whoever their delegate is, and then we make a choice as a country on who that person that's going to run. Right. This hasn't happened since 1968, right? So a person that was 21 in 1968 would be 77 years old now. So the majority of the people that are out here that are educated, that are voting, have never been a part of an election where the candidate wasn't chosen by the people.
All right.
This was the first time.
It was chosen by the money.
Why all of a sudden, it's been almost 60 years that this process has been going on. This is what we all know. All of us know this system. We all know the system. Now all of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute, no, we're not going to do this system. We're going to do the convention system where we're going to come into a meeting and we're going to pick the candidate. The Democratic convention, they came together in a room and said, oh yeah, we're going to pick the candidate. Well, what was the discussion?
It was, hey, who can use this money that we built up for Joe Biden? That's what the discussion.
That's what I figured out.
What's going to be the easiest? Right. We didn't get a vote in this. Whether you feel like it was a coup, or whether you feel like, because let's be honest here.
If she was able, wait, I can't say that, because if she was able,
I didn't say it was a coup. I said whether you feel
to go through the debates and qualify herself as the last person standing, where we all had the decision
but
to
you
all
ain't gotta
say,
do that
okay, we chose, hold on, we all chose.
No, that's the process.
That's the process. Where we all chose, then guess what?
Process.
If she goes through that process.
That's what he's saying. It wasn't a process, and it normally is a process where she has to win the nomination.
But normally, With me only doing 4 years, I'm gonna run again and try it. But guess what? I can't run because I'm fucked up.
No, that's what the story is.
We had a weekend at
So I'ma
Bernie.
slide
What
you in
happened
there.
is we
So
was in a
usually,
real
you
live.
feel what I'm saying?
What happened is we was in a real live weekend at Bernie's
Yeah.
for these past 4
and you
years,
died.
and they could no longer hide it. Nigga, what? They could no longer hide it anymore, to the point where they had to do something about it. But he had already won the Democratic nomination. Instead of them actually
he was
going
up
through the
incumbent.
process,
He was
it doesn't matter though. It's still they're still supposed
They have to nominate somebody.
Yeah, they're still supposed to go through the process. He went through the process, and they waited to the last minute where they knew it wasn't quote unquote enough time to go through the
But they
process.
knew. But no, the point
they
is,
knew
though,
that 2 years ago.
They knew it, right?
You know what it was? It's fighting a girl. Let me explain that. Let me explain my stance on that. If I get into a fight right now, it don't matter how big this lady is.
Don't cancel him.
If I get into a fight with a girl, I lose either way.
right.
If I beat this girl up, all right, let me use a different one. If I get into a fight,
please, 'cause I don't want you to get
No, I'm sorry. If I get into a fight with a gay dude, if I get into a fight with a flamboyant homosexual man, right? No matter how big he is, small, if I beat him up, they gonna be like, bro, you beat up a gay dude.
Yeah.
If he beats me up,
But you got beat up.
You
by
in
that.
a lose-lose. You're in a lose-lose situation.
her winning that for the Democrats, when you say they won, this is how they won. There's no way we're gonna win this. Let's put him in the fight against her.
Right.
If he wins, America wasn't ready for a black woman. America wasn't ready for a woman.
They got a narrative.
Right. If he loses,
He weak.
no. The country's changing. The country's shifting.
No, that's the part when I'm saying to you.
I don't think the Democratic won under any circumstance.
Yes, they did.
They ain't
Yes,
win
they did.
shit.
I'm
I'm
gonna
waiting
tell
for the win.
I'm gonna tell you how they won.
Where's that?
No,
Where that though?
997 million dollars was raised in this campaign for the Democratic Party, specifically to the Democratic Party. 997
I have an article about this.
million.
They saying
Hold on.
Go ahead.
She blew
1
money,
point-
Yes.
20 million.
Yes, because that's where I'm getting to.
1.2 billion total between the Democratic Party and her own Kamala Harris campaign adjacent to the Democratic
Kamala.
Party. My bad, Kamala.
Because I know they're going to get you.
Listen,
I got y'all. They're my brothers. I got y'all.
Listen, that does not include. This does not include the Democratic super PACs. This does not include what the Democratic.
No, this includes the PACs.
No, that number doesn't. The number including the Democratic super PACs goes to $1.7 billion total raised money. There's $118 million of that money still left over.
No, it's not, actually. Let me talk. Hold on, pause.
Haven't even reported
Hold
what
on,
they
pause.
spent
Pause.
because they
Right
don't
now,
have
hold
to.
on. I just want to correct you because actually they are on her ass and the entire campaign's ass because there are actually $20 million in debt. How do you get $1 billion? Actually, one of the Democratic National Committee leaders said that it's a $1 billion disaster. I'm reading this word for word right now. She said, the truth is, this is just an end epic disaster. This is a $1 billion disaster. Lee of the DNC National Finance Committee member says, she said there are $20 million or $18 million in debt. It's incredible. I raised millions of that. I have friends and I have to be accountable to and explain what happened. And because I told them it was a margin of error race. The strategist said that the Harris's campaign chair, Jen O'Malley Dillon, promised all of us that Harris would win. She even put videos out saying Harris would win. Lee said on Saturday, I believed her. My donors believed her, and so they wrote massive checks. I just feel a lot of us were misled. Not only are they $20 million in debt, but they actually, y'all, I get everybody emails. I get Trump emails. I get Harris emails so I can see what's going on. So here's the thing. I did not hear anything from the Harris campaign since the goddamn election day until last night. They sent out an email asking for money.
Right.
Asking for money. And then they lied. They did not tell the truth that they were in debt for the money. It still got victory fund on the bitch.
Yeah.
You didn't tell people that y'all went over a budget. You know why they went over budget? Because y'all was spending money on all of these influencers, on all of these paid advocates, on all of these paid activists, on celebs. It's just like in Atlanta. I could have told you she was going to lose in Georgia. Because why? Because why are you spending millions of dollars in Atlanta? You know you got Atlanta. Take your ass to Cartersville. Right. Take your ass down into Delaware or however you pronounce it. Take your ass to these areas in the mountain areas where you know
all
they
you
are.
See is Trump signs.
All you see is Trump signs.
Right.
They were not in the areas that they needed to actually battle. Right. So they misappropriate campaign funds, and I'm sure in the coming days because everybody's starting to snitch.
I'm not.
So it's about to come out.
I'm 100% with you, Shar. Me and you, we're both saying things that are absolutely correct. But what is the why? Right? That's what I'm saying. Is
I just said they spent money on things that looked good, but were not actual strategy backed ways to actually push forward the campaign.
Because they're running a playbook that they've always run. It's a playbook. Right. No matter what we're sitting there talking about, they put somebody in place. It is pretty good.
Spring water.
They put somebody in place that they knew that was going to generate and garner the attention that they needed to have in order to raise money and put on a show, right? So let me ask you guys a question, right? This is a historical question too.
You saying this?
So
I'm sorry.
What organization is synonymous? What organization pops in your head when you say civil rights? When I say civil rights movement?
Well, the only reason I know is it was the Republican Party.
No. What?
NAACP.
Black Panthers.
NAACP.
Yeah.
Okay, you say NAACP.
I say Black Panthers.
Okay, Black Panthers. I'm with you.
That's who actually did the work.
That's why everybody.
I think he's talking about the consensus.
Yeah, but that's why everybody great grandma had JFK hanging up in their kitchen next to white Jesus.
but I'm saying the NAACP.
Man, for real.
Well, we're just saying it. So
yeah. National Advance for Colored People.
Right. All right. So, civil rights movement. The Republican Party was responsible for freeing slaves. That was post Civil War. That was the Republican Party. What they're responsible for. But civil rights movement started in the years after that. We say early 1900s up to 1970.
When they did the civil rights, that's when it changed. The Democrats actually used the civil rights bill to get the support of black people. Before that, we were Republican.
Correct. So,
and the Democratic Party actually started the KKK. Go ahead.
That's correct as well. So
they were broke as hell.
So no, they were actually rich. They were the ones that had all the money, and they had all the property and resources in America, which is what started the Civil War. But that's another conversation. So we say NAACP, right? So NAACP in 1909 was founded by a white man, right? Founded and led and headed by a white man from 1909 to 1929, right? Moorfield. From 1930 till 1975, 3 consecutive presidents of the NAACP were Jewish American men.
Right.
From 1930 to 1975, these dates make a difference. 75, that means that the head of the NAACP during the time of the peak era of the civil rights movement, with all of the leaders that we know as the leaders of the civil rights movement, the NAACP president was a Jewish American man.
They been pumping media on us.
Now, what do we notice? What do we notice about this? And now we putting out. Now, what do we notice about what happens when, especially a black man of power, goes against or says something against, whether it's political, whether it's entertainment? What do we notice? What happens when the word Jewish comes into play?
They find baby oil in your bathroom. Go ahead.
They find baby oil in your bathroom. They find baby oil in your bathroom. They might have put it there. We don't know how strong or how powerful this goes. All I know is that there's something that's going on that's consistent
kind of
as far as a playbook goes. But as soon as there's a black person of power, as soon as they get outside of, because Malcolm X was when I say voice, in my opinion, when it comes down to passion, he was the voice of passion and reason. There was only one question that Malcolm X couldn't answer, is where do we want to go? And that was the only question that they asked him, because that was the only question they knew that he couldn't concisely and specifically answer. But every other question that was asked of him from his peers and from white media at that time, all of those answers to those questions were concisely answered, and he answered them the exact same way every single time. I am the representative and the voice of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I represent the Black Muslim movement in America, where
he was staying on code.
Where we are
with what he was told to,
right.
And the one time, the one time he got out of line after Kennedy was killed, when he said, "When the roosters come home," that is what got him exiled. And I just want to insert really quick. It's not just the NAACP. Almost every single HBCU was founded by a white or Jewish person.
Sure. Right.
And the Rothschilds fund everything. Sure. And on top of that, fact of the matter is that even some of the King initiatives was funded by the Rothschild.
Sure. Yeah.